Hello, it's March 29th, 2009. I'm Alvin Boyette, and this is Alvin's Transformers World, Generation 1 Sunday School. Today, actually this week we have a brief schedule. We're only going to be on up until Wednesday for current era study, and Thursday we're packing up the equipment. It's got to leave for 1 week. At any rate, today's subject is twofold. One is the Dinobots versus Vector Sigma, and Wheeljack's the grandpa. These are just little neat continuity. Well, the first thing is a continuity problem. The second one is just an interesting fact that you may not have realized. The first part is the Dinobots versus Vector Sigma. And if you don't know anything about Transformers yet, I suggest going on YouTube, looking for SOS Dinobots, watching Part 1 and Part 2, and that's where Wheeljack creates the Dinobots. And you'll see they have incredibly simplistic brains. And then there is a creational episode about Aerobots, and these are all jets, the first jets that the Autobots get. Well, the thing is this: Wheeljack is the mechanic and technician for the Autobots. He created the Dinobots by building them, and he activated them and programmed them. Now, the argument that many people give is that the Dinobots aren't sentient because they're pretty much, well, they're very slow, because Wheeljack decided to give them simple brains like the real dinosaurs, which they were molded after. Now, the problem exists is the fact that they are sentient, and you can tell that they each have distinct personalities and are alive and self-aware. However, also in the series, these Aerobots I mentioned before have to be taken to Cybertron to be presented in front of the main computer that is Cybertron, which is Vector Sigma. Now, Vector Sigma grants sentient life to all Transformers, and without Vector Sigma, they can't have sentient lives or be self-aware. With every great television series, there's going to be some continuity problems. And a lot of people just don't understand that that's just something that happens. People nitpick over this constantly, and it's something you take with a grain of salt. The writers don't concur with each other. There are multiple writers on these stories, and so they don't have the time to backtrack and completely check their facts. So when they did the Aerobot study, they didn't realize that, you know what, the Dinobots were created without bringing them to Vector Sigma. Why do we have to take the Aerobots all the way to Cybertron to give them life? And they further made this a point by Megatron creating the Stunticons, and he also had to take them and give them life. And the thing is, you're probably saying, well, Vector Sigma sounds like a good computer or whatever. Why would he help Megatron out? Well, Vector Sigma is not able to make that decision. If it's a Transformer, if it's a Cybertronian life form wanting a request to grant life to other Cybertronian-based life forms or created life forms, then he has to concur. So he had to give the lives to the Stunticons. And that's the story behind that. So, on to the next part. With Wheeljack having created... My dogs are going crazy. With Wheeljack having created the Dinobots, later on in Season 3, Grimlock is granted a new brain when he gets electrocuted. And so, after he gets that new brain, he creates technobots, which is a group of highly sophisticated, highly intelligent robots, but they think too much. They form the Computron Gestalt team. Its Computron is the Gestalt form of the Technobots, just as Devastator's the Gestalt form of the Constructicons. And so, Grimlock creates this, and then later on goes back to his normal, ridiculously stupid self. But that means Wheeljack, having created Grimlock and the Dinobots, and Grimlock, having created his own team of robots, is the grandfather of the Technobots. That's right, Wheeljack is a granddaddy. It's too bad he never made it through the movie to see his little grandchildren. But I'm glad, because he probably would have been upset. They think way too much. Computron was known to overthink every step and calculated everything he ever did, everything he said. He had to calculate it all first. By the time he's done calculating, he's getting his butt smashed. Okay? By either Minosaur, Bruticus, or Devastator. And if you don't know who they are, well, I highly suggest, if you've been watching this by now, you should have been researching some of the Transformers cartoons. And you can do so on YouTube. Just about all of them are someplace on YouTube. And you start with the beginning, the Mortal Meets the Eye series, which is 1, 2, and 3. And keep going through all Generation 1, or go out and get the Generation 1 DVD box set. And you won't waste any money on that. Trust me, the DVD box sets for Generation 1 are fantastic. Many of them contain actual animation cells and whatnot. But that's another review for another day. This has been Generation 1 Sunday School. Today I discussed the continuity problem between the Aerobots being given life in Vector Cinema and the Dinobots being programmed by Wheeljack. However, they are sentient. And then I discussed the fact that Wheeljack is a granddaddy. Or was. Unknowingly, unwittingly. I guess he never imagined Grimlock could ever have children of his own. And that's scary. Have a great day. We'll see you the next couple of days for most of our week. And then remember, Thursday we're going to be gone for a week until April 11th. And on April 12th we'll come back with another Generation 1 Sunday School. Until then, till all are one, peace out. Freedom is the right of all sentient beings.